What did you start liking the older you got? Reading. I'm dyslexic and had to take special reading classes in school, so I got bullied, and reading has always just kind of been a chore. Now that I'm graduated and out on my own, I like to enjoy the peace and quiet and dig through a book. Use my brain a little bit. Spending time alone with myself. All foods I didn't like when I was younger. Now I just don't care. Fish? Sure. Eggplant? Delicious. Runny eggs? Yes please. I still find the odd thing I don't like, but it's very rare now. Staying home on the weekends or just going to a friend's house for a couple of beers instead of going out clubbing. Quiet time. Sleeping. Myself. Comfy, quality socks. Sitting outside and doing nothing. As a kid, I always wondered why adults would do that. Smiley face. Naps. Thrifting. Olives. Fucking hated olives as a kid. Now they're like little green crack bombs with garlic in them. Delicious. Routine and habits. Purple heart. Not drinking alcohol. Hangovers feel worse. It's an expensive habit, and it's not as fun as it used to be. A new dish scrubber. Going to bed early. Quiet weekends. Steely Dan. Vegetables and healthier food in general. It's like you can almost feel that HP boost after eating some greens. Reading. Imagination is free, so nobody cheaps on writing complex and detailed scenes. Also, you actually know what the characters are thinking and feeling, so you have a deeper connection with the characters. Quiet time. That's when I knew I wasn't getting any younger. Shit man. I'm old. Tea instead of coffee. I used to pound coffee. But now it aggravates reflux and generally upsets my stomach more. A nice cup of tea, especially Earl Grey with milk, really does the trick. Mustard. What a great condiment. Soup. Cleaning supplies. Vinegar. I absolutely hated pickles, olives, and vinegar chips as a kid. I am now at the extra pickles and banana peppers phase of my sandwich journey through life. Several things: spicy hot food, whiskey, strong beers, fusion, jazz. Olives. Didn't like them until my 30s. Peace and quiet time. Emotionally available or stable partners. Compound interest. Art museums. Used to think they were pretentious and boring growing up. Over time, thought about the process and effort it really takes to make that kind of work. Whole new perspective. Naps. History. Lifting weights. Fleetwood Mac. 80 years old, like whole food plant-based eating. Pumpkin pie, haha. Old songs. Younger me always followed whatever is mainstream. Different body types among women. Quiet time alone and soup. The suburbs. Peacefulness. Vegetables. Peace and stability. Mushrooms. Spicy food. Going to sleep on time. Classical music. Babies. Organization. Definitely older music. Especially from the 60s and 70s. Legos. I'm 42 and just started playing with Legos. The concept of death. When I was young, it was an idea that was impossible to understand. As quantum physics is to a low IQ ditch digger, it didn't mean anything even when it happened to others. That concept that one will never be there again hurts, but at the same time it's still foreign. It happens to other, won't happen to me. Then when I hit my midlife years and my father passed, it hit me. I would die. I would stop being me. My body would lay down and I would no longer be there. My children would go on and I would not be there. My children would look to me as I looked to my now dead father. I would no longer be. There would be no tomorrow for me to be known, to be acknowledged, to be recognized. When I would leave behind. There is a depth within us that plummets with that moment of there's no more chances left to get it right. You know the thing that you really suck at? You keep trying but you just can't get it right? There will be a day where you will no longer be able to when you die. Then I went over the hill. I have more days behind me than I have ahead of me. I've made my mark, even if it's not talked about on the evening news, or on social media. I've touched people. I've seen entire lives flip a 180 because I existed in the right moment at the right time. I hurt, physically, all the time. I can't move the way I used to, I can't be the way I was. Remembering my 20s are more filled with a sense of cringe than with wishfulness. My 30s are remembered with more disappointment for what I should have done than what I did. My 40s onward I'm happy with because I lived as true to who I am as I could be, minus a bit of regret I didn't have the strength to do so sooner. So now as an old lady, grandkids. I enjoy seeing the echo of my existence in my grandbabies. I can see that parts that are me, genetically, I can see the wisdom that I imparted to my children being lived by my grandkids. Honestly, seeing a 12-year-old act with conviction, a ideology that took me 40 years to realize, is great for the ego. I still want to see what my grandkids do with what I imparted to them, but I'm also selfish. I want to see what happens next, once my body lays down and stops. What's next? I want to see what else is in store for myself. What lessons and experiences await me once my body gets 6 feet under? I've been around too long and seen way too much to think that death is a stop. When my father committed suicide, I received clear evidence that his body was what stopped, not what made him who he was. So, I want to see what's next. I don't worry about the darkness when death takes my body anymore. Actually, I think it's like being born, in a whole new plane of existence. I hope I've made more positive marks on this world than negatives, but at this point I don't have much time to make sure I have, so I take comfort in watching my granddaughters say, "Stop staring at me, pedo," to strangers at the grocery. It was only in the last 15 years that girls were allowed to call out poor behavior on that level. And it was only in the last couple of years that we were applauded for doing so in public, and I know I had a hand in making that change come about. As well as others, but that one made me exceptionally happy. Enjoying the little things more. Older women. Less bullshit. Gym, gardening, tofu. Having the whole house to myself. It was so good. I now live alone. Watching the news and weather stations. Good rye whiskey. Myself. Being left alone. Silence. Going to bed early. I began falling for large women. They became so much more attractive to me. Consistency. Being at home and not going out all the time. I still like to socialize, but I'm never out past 10 p.m. now and prefer going to events in the daytime. Having a beer in the comfort of my home. Being at home begins to be such a blessing when you ought to be out working all day 6 days a week. Whiskey. Hot sauce always was the mild level of heat on food up until this last year. Now I can't get enough hot sauce or spice. I'll also add pickles. But I had not ever given them a chance. Peace, quiet. Moms. Men with beards. Naps. Lots of naps. Oh, and boxes. Sleep in morning sunlight. Vegetables. Scented candles. I used to avoid feminine things because it's not manly to have nice stuff. But a couple of months ago I started lighting candles in my new apartment, and now I can't get enough from trying new scents. Currently my favorite is apple cinnamon. Apparently being manly is bullshit and having nice stuff is fun. Hating new music. Reading. A schedule. Cold, dark, windy and rainy outside. Cozy fire inside. Butt stuff. Coffee, peace, quiet time, buying clothes. Scotch. Peppers. I was mildly allergic to capsaicin, so even bell peppers were hot to me, but the allergy went away and now I love peppers and I even grow some of the hottest now. Contrary to some of the responses in the other thread about things you like less as you age, people. As a kid, and especially as a teen, I was always the socially awkward one, which led to resentment, suspicion, and abrasiveness. Always annoyed at the presence of others, always looking for a reason to dislike or disagree with someone. At some point I just realized how much of that was a product of my own insecurity and sadness. I think having meaningful or even just pleasant interactions with people is one of the few true joys in life. There's no use in throwing it away out of bitterness. Friendship, community, love, that's what makes a fulfilling life. Coffee. People who don't create or have drama in their lives or mine. At least not on purpose. Simple, quiet relationships. Whiskey. It's just not what you want to drink when you're young, but as I've got older the flavor has become not just palatable but delicious, and it just feels like a slow, reflective drink for sitting on the porch or by the fireside and pondering. Anoth would be going to places primarily to enjoy the views. Mint flavor. I hated mint for the longest time, tried it again in my 30s and was like, whoa, this is actually good now. Honestly, I had a revelation the other day. I used to hate supreme pizza. The fucking green peppers on it would like cover the taste of everything else on the pizza and just taste like greasy peppers to me. Well, at Casey's I bought a pizza slice but fucked up as I thought I was getting a pepperoni and sausage, but after I touched it and was carrying it to the register I saw it was a supreme. Having done that, I'm gonna eat it. Tasted pretty damn good for some reason. Definitely pepper taste, but I could taste the onions and sausage and pepperoni flavors and cheese. Was scared how well I liked it. Had mushrooms on it too, but fuck them things, pointless as they have no taste, weird texture and cost too much. Cottage cheese. Ketamine. Women. Good homemade meals beats going out. And naps. Staying home and being alone. Scotch. Work. The gym and lifting weights. I'm 36. Life has never been better. Sparkling water. King of the hill. Comfy shoes over fashion. Flavored carbonated water.
I hope you all are doing well, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video. If you have something to say critically or otherwise, leave a comment. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe to see more of it. I hope you all have wonderful and fulfilled lives.